Well, hi everybody. It is Sunday, February 9th. That's Super Bowl Sunday, and it's getting toward the end of the game, and I haven't been watching, but I understand the Chiefs are playing extremely poorly. I only bring that up because they appear to be playing the way I feel, which is really not very good at all. I've been fighting a cold and losing, although I'm gaining ground on it slowly. And just this whole past 3 or 4 weeks, I just really have not felt very well. I've wanted to shoot a couple of episodes. I have them kind of partially scripted in my head, and I just can't seem to get them out. I just don't feel right. But, however, Valentine's Day is approaching, and in a slight departure from my normal stroke stories, I just want to make a little digression and talk about marriage. As you know, a big part of my recovery is really based on the fact that I have a very loving marriage. I have a wonderful wife who takes really great care of me. And I try my best to get better because I love her and I want to do the best that I can. And so I have mentioned before that I married kind of late in life, in my late 30s. And I had the opportunity to see some marriages, a lot of marriages, go bad. And one of the things I tried to do is this is sort of in the vein of learning from others, which was a subject of one of my previous videos. Talk about learning from others, seeing a lot of marriages go bad, and some common elements that I saw. And also, during my course as a bachelor, I had the opportunity to date a lot of divorced women. And let me tell you, when you go out with a divorced woman, one of the things you're probably going to hear on your first date is a litany of all the sins of her ex-husband. Um, I guess that's just kind of the way it goes. But anyway, kind of at the top of that list for a lot of women, and I found this to be very common, was that it seems their ex-husbands could not decide if they were going to please their wives or their mothers. And because of that, a lot of the wives got fed up. They're sort of like, if you want to please mom, stay with mom. If you want to please me, pick me. And I think that's really important. And I made the decision myself that if I ever did get married, and then when I actually did, that I would make a very conscious decision that pleasing my wife is going to be my top priority. There's an old saying, happy wife, happy life, and I think that's true enough. And certainly in my case, it's persuaded me well enough to try and keep my wife happy. Oh, anyway, so I always thought that the wedding vows, they always said, I know in mine, it's like, do you forsake all other women, and I think they ought to make a slight modification to that, to men, to say, do you forsake all other women, including your mother, because a lot of times, and I'm actually sad to say that in my own case, my mother was not really thrilled with me when I got married, and in fact, after I'd been married about 2 years, she never spoke to me again. And it's really kind of a shame. Sad for her, but I had made my choice. My wife is from a large family, and she's the 10th of 12 children. So she had a lot of older siblings who got married, and she noticed living at home with her mom that when her siblings would go and complain to their mother about the husband who did this or didn't do that or that sort of thing, and her mother only had one statement to say, and I think this is absolutely brilliant. To stay out of it, she would say, "Well, you picked him." So basically, say, "Look, this is your problem. You got to solve it yourself." And I think for a woman who had 12 children, she would not want to have these running battles, get involved. She wanted, she needed to stay out of it. I think those are very wise words, basically to say, hey, you picked them. Uh, so I think that people need to be really careful when they make those decisions about who it is they're going to get married. I think there are certain things that people show in their personalities in certain circumstances that they don't normally, like when they're on a date or when they're doing something like in a job interview. I used to be active on LinkedIn back when I had a career. That's been a number of years. But I had what I called, the 5-minute job interview, right? And part of it was have somebody drive you someplace in a car. because their personality will come out more realistically than any other thing that they do, in a job interview. And let's face it, dating is got a lot of similarities with a job interview, right? And anyway, that's the sort of thing that can really go wrong really quickly, right? Because you go to a job interview on a date, you look your best and you act your best, but man, you get people behind the wheel of a car, I mean, their true nature really comes out. So anyway, that's just a couple of quick tips based on my own experience. I don't really drive very much anymore, so I guess you could learn much about my personality that way, But remember, you picked him. And also, for you husbands, you better decide if you're going to please your wife or your mother. And if you want to have a happy marriage, you better pick your wife. Anyway, that'll do. We'll get back to other stroke stuff. I've got some, like I say, some partial scripts and some other stuff I want to do soon. But have a happy and romantic Valentine's Day, and we will see you again soon. Thanks for watching.